With ClickOrlando.com, this is News 6 at 7, getting results.
Now at 7, Hurricane Isaias is gaining strength and moving closer to our shore. In moments, Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells pinpoints the shift all of Central Florida needs to be watching.
And that shift means the first warnings are up along our coast and even some inland areas. We have team coverage on how beaches and businesses are getting ready. Good evening. This is News 6 at 7, getting results. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
I'm Lisa Bell. Thanks for joining us. Also, most of us received government stimulus checks months ago, but a senior citizen and her husband say they are still waiting.
We're both on Social Security. We're both still unemployed, and we need it.
News 6 investigator Mike Holfeld joins the search for their stimulus check, money they need to make ends meet. What he learned coming up a little later.
But we start with team coverage of the tropics. Hurricane Isaias, the storm's projected path, has moved to the west, and it is not the news anyone wanted to hear.
That's right. That shift came in part thanks to the brave work of these hurricane hunters. This video is from one of their planes. It shows the size of that storm. That is the eye of Isaias from a flight made late this morning. Let's get right over to Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells. Tom, we saw that latest 5 o'clock track, and it definitely shifted closer to us.
Oh, it totally did, Lisa. Now, what I have over my shoulder is the visible satellite image. As the sun is setting, it's going to fade away. I know the sun's not down yet, but, you know, based on the cloud tops, it kind of is. You see what's going on with the storm system. It's bubbling, it's brewing, it's taking a big breath, and it's getting strength. It's getting stronger. Hurricane hunters are out there looking at it right now. Here's what you really want to see. 5 o'clock advisory only had wind speeds of 75 miles per hour, so it's a minimal Category 1 hurricane. But it's going to get a little stronger, I believe, the next 24 hours. And here's the track, bringing it oh so close by Sunday at 2 a.m. as an 80-mile-per-hour storm right there on the southern part of the state, and right up here, right there, just on top of the Cape, by Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. with wind speeds of 75 miles per hour. Here's the intensity and timeline. Notice how it goes right over top of Andros Island, so hopefully that'll weaken it a bit, but not a lot. Still a Category 1 storm around West Palm Beach with some of the hurricane force winds getting on shore. Then into the afternoon Sunday, there it is by 1 p.m. Sunday afternoon, making the eye either on top of the Cape or maybe digging into Brevard County just a little before finally getting past Brevard County by 6 in the evening. It starts to drift away up to the north and the east. I'll be back. We'll talk about a little bit of rainfall now and a whole lot of rainfall for the weekend. We'll do watches and warnings. All that ahead.
Tom, thank you.
You bet.
And now is a good time to make sure you have our free Pinpoint Hurricane Tracker app. Tom and our entire Pinpoint weather team will constantly update the projected path for Isaias and all other storms. We can send out alerts right to your phone. Search WKMG in your app store.
As Tom mentioned, a hurricane warning is now out for Brevard County. The port has ordered everyone camping in Jetty Park to get out by noon tomorrow. And right now, inmates are helping get results by filling sandbags. News 6's Eric Sandoval is at one of those sites in Palm Bay.
North of Brevard, beaches and businesses are also bracing for Hurricane Isaias in Volusia County. News 6's Lauren Korn continues our team coverage tonight and shows us some of the preparations already underway there. Now, at this time, Volusia County emergency leaders are not planning to open any shelters, so the time to get your home ready is now. ClickOrlando.com can help you with that. We've posted a list of sandbag locations county by county so you can find them if you need them. That story is on the homepage, and a complete hurricane checklist is at ClickOrlando.com/hurricane. The threat from Isaias means all state-run and most county-run coronavirus test sites are closed.
That's right, but the threat of the virus is not on hold. For a 4th day in a row, Florida broke a record for the number of COVID-19 deaths. The Department of Health says 257 new deaths were reported in the past 24 hours. That tops yesterday's record by 5. It appears likely that tomorrow Florida will top 7,000 lives lost since the pandemic started, hitting here in March. Statewide, the Department of Health says more than 9,000 new cases were reported in the last 24 hours. One glimmer of good news, this is our 6th day in a row with fewer than 10,000 new cases.
Volusia County Sheriff Mike Chitwood is one of those new cases. He announced today he has tested positive for COVID-19. The sheriff made the announcement on Twitter saying his symptoms are mild and he is quarantining for 14 days. The sheriff also encourages anyone not feeling up to par to get tested, adding, quote, I have no idea how I contracted this, and this is a lesson in itself. Anyone can catch this.
Police say a 10-year-old's call for help in Orange County may have kept a deadly situation from being even worse. Windermere police think a would-be car thief beat a 61-year-old man and his adult son to death with a bat. A woman is wounded in the hospital right now, but so is that suspect. This happened on Sunbittern Court in Lake Crescent Reserve in Windermere. That's just down the street from Windermere Elementary School. News 6's Clay Lepard is outside the gated community.
Officers say those homeowners tried to confront the burglar, but when they did, he beat them up with a baseball bat, killing 2 of them.
We don't know why he did what he did. I just couldn't tell you.
Still plenty of questions left for investigators after they were called to this Windermere gated community late Thursday night. Detectives say the homeowners at this home spotted Ezekiel Hopkins at around 11 p.m. trying to steal a pickup truck and confronted him. News 6 obtained this mugshot of Hopkins from 2012. When confronted, police say Hopkins used a baseball bat to kill 61-year-old John Savy and his 30-year-old son, James. They say John Savy's wife was also beaten, but is expected to be okay after being taken to the hospital.
This is going to send shockwaves to everybody.
Hopkins was ultimately arrested after police say he was found inside a bathroom at this home. He remains in the hospital after detectives say he drank bleach as police were arriving. This is not Hopkins' first run-in with the law. Court paperwork shows Hopkins has been arrested several times, dating back to 2009, with charges including battery, aggravated stalking, drug possession, and possession of a weapon by a convicted felon. Even earlier in the night, detectives say Ocoee police noticed Hopkins' parked car and thought it was suspicious, but as it sped away, they did not follow per their policy.
We do know that on the video that we saw right here from the front entrance here, that he came down the road at a high rate of speed, turned into this entrance and actually pushed the gate open, turned his lights off.
Hopkins is expected to be charged with 2 counts of murder and battery when he's formally released from the hospital. Officers pointed out that they do not believe this family was targeted, and they also credit the family's 10-year-old grandson for calling 911 while he hid inside the home. In Windermere, Clay Lepard, Getting Results, News 6.
Well, the big story tonight, no doubt, remains Hurricane Isaias heading our way.
Yeah, fortunately, Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells is pinpointing its progress for us. Tom?
Hey, come take a look. This is what it looks like tonight. Here is Nassau right there. At last report, it was 195 miles away, but it's closing in faster. It's a lot closer than 195. We don't get an update till 8 o'clock, so we're going to go with what we have. I'll be right back to show you the latest track, when I think it lands upon the shore, and what it means for you this weekend.
Plus, Universal Orlando announces another round of layoffs. What the resort is saying about the team members who just lost their jobs.
I run for the mail every day to see if maybe today we have a check.
Well, they filed papers with the IRS, but no one knows where their money is. So News 6 investigator Mike Holfeld joined the search for their stimulus check. What he found out in minutes.
We're getting results in New Smyrna Beach, Palm Bay, and all of Central Florida here on News 6 at 7 and our free News 6 app.
As stiff as stone, the puppy paralyzed. How Bunny was nursed back to health. Next Inside Edition.
Tonight at 7:30 on News 6. It's something earned day after day. Through good times and bad. It's something proven by pinpointing every storm, every threat. It's when you know you can depend on someone to put your safety first. And it's why people trust Pinpoint Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells, proven to be here every day to make sure you're safe and you're ready. News 6 Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells, getting results. Here's tonight's lineup on News 6, sponsored by Care Plus Health Plans.
At 8, the greatest #at-home videos. At 9, Magnum PI. At 10, Blue Bloods, followed by News 6 at 11.
Live with Ginger Gadsden, Lisa Bell, and weather with Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells. This is News 6 at 7, getting results.
All right, here is the latest look at Hurricane Isaias. If you are just joining us, the National Hurricane Center moved the projected path closer to our shore. A hurricane warning is in effect for Brevard County Other parts of our area are under watches right now. And Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells will pinpoint the full details for us once again in just minutes.
And just into News 6, President Trump is in Florida and says he is ready to offer whatever help we might need after Isaias moves through.
Administration is also closely monitoring the hurricane approaching the Florida coast. In fact, I got to get out of here. It's right behind me. I'm leaving. It's not far off, I will tell you. You know, it's not too. For good luck. Have a great evening. Have a great evening, fellas. But we'll do whatever's necessary to help Florida and this storm. I guess it's going to be a pretty rough storm, but I know one thing. After having done this for 3.5 years, you've seen worse.
The president is in Pinellas County in the Tampa Bay area for a fundraiser with law enforcement. Brevard County Sheriff Wayne Ivey, you see, is standing behind him.
Financial fallout from the pandemic means Universal Orlando has just announced a second round of layoffs, while the resort is not saying how many team members have lost their jobs. Just yesterday, parent company Comcast told Wall Street theme park revenues dropped 94% in their last quarter due to closures from the pandemic, from $1.4 billion last year to $87 million this year.
Universal tells News 6 it had to make difficult decisions about members of its workforce, adding, "We are grateful for their contribution and we will support them through this process with severance pay, subsidized health benefits, and reemployment assistance." Now, just last week, Universal announced it was canceling one of its biggest moneymakers, Halloween Horror Nights. Millions of Americans and hundreds of thousands in our area are struggling to make ends meet.
Yeah, among them a husband and wife, seniors still waiting for their stimulus checks that most people received in May. News 6 investigator Mike Holfeld is digging into the reasons why. All right, the time is right now to get ready for Hurricane Isaias. Here's a look at what the storm did as it slammed into the Dominican Republic and Haiti earlier today. It's caused heavy flooding around the island. At last report, hundreds of thousands of people were still without power in Puerto Rico, where the storm dropped up to 10 inches of rain.
And those are places that certainly did not need anything like this. None of us really do, and we certainly don't want it. But when we saw that 5 o'clock advisory, Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells, who joins us now, have been trying to maybe prepare us and soften the blow a little bit when it started to shift more west.
Yeah, when we came in this afternoon, we started talking about the last couple of hurricane seasons that we've gone through where we thought we were going to get nailed and we lucked out and missed.
Yeah.
This time, like, it was going to miss us. I'm afraid some of us might get nailed a little bit by this. Take a look at what's going on tonight. This is what it looks like from a satellite and water vapor perspective. We've got a big swath of orange and rust color out there trying to slow the thing down, but it hasn't done much good. During the day today, it's maintained minimal category 1. And has not had any trouble doing so. Hurricane hunters are out there right now finding wind speed, still 10-second wind speed anyway, of at least 78 miles per hour. So that's in the zone. Pressure's dropping. Where they are, it's 985 millibars. So if that's true and that verifies, that's going to be a pretty decent drop. That's going to mean pressure drops first, then the winds speed up. 75 mile per hour winds right now as the 5 p.m. advisory. We'll wait and see what they find for the 8 p.m. update coming up here in about 40 minutes. Pressure last go around was 991, so it's dropping quite a bit. Here we go. Sunday, 2 a.m., nipping at the coastside down here. Then by Sunday at 2 p.m., right up on top of the Cape. That's if it follows this track. My fear is what they're finding this afternoon and evening hours and the new model runs, this may have to be dragged a little farther. This thing may come inland sooner. Now, if it comes in sooner down here, that would weaken it significantly before it gets to us. But if it stays right here and then comes in this way, well, you know. We've lived it before. It's a hit and miss, hold your breath kind of weekend for mostly Brevard County, but even across the interior areas too. Hurricane problems across the interior from, say, Lake County, Sumter, Ocala. Low impacts. You know, there may be some spotty downpours as a feeder band comes through, but overall, I think you're going to do fine. Across the interior, we do have inland hurricane problems, or at least tropical storm warnings now for this area from Orlando to Kissimmee, all the way down to the southern side of Osceola County, including way up north to Seminole County as well. That would mean some gusts of tropical storm strength at least, and maybe even some tropical downpours at times. Here's the hour-by-hour pinpoint of that wind field, the way we have it now, making Some high wind come through Brevard County during the overnight Saturday and Sunday, but this orange, the first orange you see there, that's your tropical storm force wind. That gets into Brevard County pretty easily on this track, and maybe even hurricane force winds over the Cape Sunday afternoon. By Sunday late, well, it's all over. Computer models today all shifted to the west. Even the TV con brings it so close to the Cape. I think that's what will happen tonight at 11. That may jog it even farther over. Tonight, the rain checks out fairly early. We stay fairly dry tomorrow, but by Sunday at 8 a.m., there's the leading edge of the rain. There it is Sunday at noon. There it is Sunday at 1 to 3, right on top of the Cape, and then finally pulling back to the northeast. Tonight's future radar dies quickly. The low tonight is 76. Here's tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Cash for Life from the Florida Lottery.
The daytime high tomorrow is 91. Check out the week ahead. High tomorrow 91, rain chance is 60%, building, of course, into the evening and night. Sunday looks to be a very, very active day. Of course, I'll be here at 11.
All right, Tom, thank you. Join News 6 and ClickOrlando.com this Monday for a Reopening Schools Town Hall to help get your questions answered. I will be moderating a panel of education experts from several local counties. Head to ClickOrlando.com/back-to-school to submit your questions ahead of our primetime special. Again, it will air on Monday, August 3rd, live at 8 p.m. right here on News 6.
Well, they left the planet when the pandemic was just in its first couple of months. Now, astronauts Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley could be coming home with Hurricane Isaias in the Atlantic. What they think about the risk for Sunday's splashdown when News 6 at 7 continues.
We're pinpointing Hurricane Isaias. Depend on Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells and the News 6 weather team to track the storm all weekend long. Don't miss a single update. Be prepared and stay ahead of the storm with News 6 and the Pinpoint Hurricane app. News 6, getting results.
Well, despite the projected path of Hurricane Isaias, NASA says right now anyway, astronauts Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley are still set to return to Earth with a Sunday splashdown. The two answered questions earlier today on the International Space Station.
Both say they will not leave the space station without some good landing opportunities. They've been away from Earth since late May, so staying another day or so is no big deal.
But we have confidence that the teams on the ground are of course, watching that much more closely than we are, and we won't leave the space station without some good landing opportunities in front of us.
NASA has 7 potential splashdown sites in the Atlantic and the Gulf. NASA says they will evaluate those options 24 hours before Dragon undocks from the ISS. Tom?
I vote golf, really,
right?
Really,
Yeah.
I do. Take a look. Here's the 5 o'clock advisory, the last one we have. We're waiting for the 8 p.m. update. That path puts it right on top of the Cape Sunday afternoon by 2 p.m. or maybe about 4 or 5 miles off the coast side. I'll have all the updates for you right at the top at 11.
All right, thanks for watching News 6 at 7.
The Inside Edition is next. Remember, we break news on ClickOrlando.com.